I would like to associate the Hajj with connection and return, and kind of three themes around this. One, the idea of the sacred center that we heard about from Marcia Liada, that this sacred center, and I'll show you some images in a moment, connect the sacred place, specifically the Kaaba and Mecca. They connect this, if you will, the center of the earth. They connect vertically to the ultimate, right, to the unconditioned reality. Then there's also the connection of that place where one is going on the pilgrimage, the sacred place, with events that took place there. And those events, yes, we talked about the Abraham motif, which is the most directly enacted during the rituals, and reenacted, one may say. So one is repeating, one is connecting back to those dramatic sacred events. But you may know that the Kaaba is all, and the motifs of the Hajj are also connected with Adam. So the primordial human. For example, the sacred black stone, which is in one corner of the Kaaba, is a piece of meteorite that was said to have either fallen to earth or been brought to earth by Adam. It's said that Adam and Eve reunited after being sent down to earth near that sacred place. And of course, events in the life of Prophet Muhammad are also associated with the Kaaba. For example, well, in some report, being born in the Kaaba, or supervising the placement or replacement of the black stone in the Kaaba, conducting the kind of paradigmatic pilgrimage with his followers to the Kaaba, which, by the way, Mecca was a sacred city in Arabia before the coming of Islam. So there's also there's the Abrahamic stream, and then there is, if you will, the universal stream, the Arabian stream. All of these are conjoining in that place. Another aspect of the sacrality of the place to which pilgrimage is made might be the passing through, let's say, the kind of residual energy or the marking of that place due to the fact that great beings have passed there, and in some cases are buried there. So those who go to the place may feel a particular personal connection beyond a specific reenactment, just a personal connection of having the opportunity to be in that place. Well, you've probably already learned that the Hajj is scripted. In fact, those going on pilgrimage may actually take classes. Actually, I'd meant to check. I bet there's a Hajj app now that you can log into and, kind of chart your Hajj and get guidance along the way. But in the old days, there were little booklets, and you see people carrying these little booklets because it's not absolutely obligatory, but there are certain traditions. You go to this place, you do this, you say this particular kind of prayer, et cetera, et cetera. So it can become very, very detailed, but certainly there's a trajectory where you need to be on which day and what you need to do between which time and which time. So it involves a tremendous amount of organization, if you will, and planning to complete this ritual properly, which may become, I suppose, as many rituals do, verging on the obsessive, right? It's not a kind of free form pilgrimage to a place, but the Hajj specifically has to be done performed in a certain way. Now, of course, with cell phones, well, it's so easy to get lost. So everybody needs a cell phone, and inevitably you have the Hajj selfie. So not only you were there and you have the experience, but you would like everybody else to know you're there. So there's this kind of dance around how do you keep the sacred sacred, right? How this extraordinariness of the moment of pilgrimage, what about the incursions of the profane, including I have a shot, not in this presentation, but of, right outside the Kaaba, there's, a Starbucks. I mean, not in here, but, you can exit and find a Starbucks within a couple of hundred yards. So this is a nice visual of a fairly recent one, because you see the different levels that have been added to accommodate the many people who are going on the Hajj. But you really see that image of the navel of the earth, or the sacred center. And of course, Muslims, wherever they are in the world, pray facing the Kaaba. And only when somebody is right there do you actually have people facing each other kind of through the Kaaba, really, I don't know, embodying or enacting that centrality. And this is an Ottoman tile, so a couple of more than 100 years old, but showing that in the Muslim imagination, this center, Kaaba in the center of everything. And you notice, if you really get into the symbolism, there's a lot of kind of the square and the circle, or squaring the circle. So ideas of transcendence. And along with that sacred center, I had mentioned enactment and reenactment. So here you see the pilgrims circumambulating, going around in counterclockwise circles of the sacred center, which, of course, the Prophet practiced, the Prophet Muhammad and his companions practiced, but there's the idea that this is even a more, primordial and universal enactment of the human relationship to the center.